How to get infinite water when the grid is dead, the rivers are brown, the stores have been looted down to the last bottle of sparkling mineral water that nobody wanted anyway, and you're standing in the middle of nowhere with $10, a bad attitude, and a desperate need to not die of thirst. No wells, no pipes, no rain, just air. And air, it turns out, is absolutely soaking wet, and has been this entire time while you were paying water bills like a civilized person. We're fixing that today. Picture this. It's 3 weeks after whatever happened. Doesn't matter what. Pick your flavor of collapse, solar flare, supply chain implosion, or just Tuesday in a bad year. The cities are quiet. Not peaceful quiet, wrong quiet. The kind of quiet where you hear your own heartbeat and it sounds nervous. The faucet stopped working on day 4. By day 7, every gas station, every supermarket, every vending machine had been stripped clean. Someone took the decorative fountain water from a hotel lobby. Someone else drank it. You didn't drink it. You're smarter than that. Or at least you're about to be. Because here's the thing nobody tells you in any survival guide, any prepper forum, any government emergency pamphlet. And trust me, I've read them all. They're mostly useless. The thing nobody tells you is this. There is water in the air above your head right now, liters of it, every single night, for free. It's been there for 100,000 years. The Incas knew it. The people of the Canary Islands knew it. Fog harvesting villages in Chile and Morocco have been pulling drinking water out of thin air since before your great-great-grandmother was born. And somehow, in the age of smartphones and same-day delivery, this knowledge got buried under a mountain of plastic bottles and monthly utility bills. Not anymore. Here's what you're going to do. $10. No electricity, no pumps, no asking anyone's permission. You're going to build a fog collector. A dew trap, a machine that steals water from the atmosphere while you sleep. Start by finding mesh, shade cloth mesh, the kind used in greenhouses, the kind that blocks about 35% of sunlight. If you're in a hardware store that still has its roof on, it's in the garden section. If you're scavenging, look for greenhouse ruins, market stalls, old construction sites. You need roughly a 6 by 6 foot piece. The weave matters. Not too tight, not too loose. Think window screen, not volleyball net. A volleyball net will collect exactly 0 water and a lot of regret. Now get PVC pipe. 4 sections, 1-inch diameter, long enough to frame your mesh. If PVC is gone, use metal conduit, wooden poles, bamboo, the frame of a broken tent, the legs of a folding table, anything rigid that can hold a rectangle. You're not building a cathedral, you're building a trap for clouds. Zip ties. Grab every zip tie you can find. They're in every hardware store, every IT closet, every cable management drawer in every abandoned office building. Zip ties are the duct tape of the apocalypse. Use them to attach the mesh to the frame every 6 inches along the edges. Pull it tight, drum skin tight. Tension is everything here. A loose, floppy mesh collects nothing. A taut mesh is a water harvesting machine. At the bottom of your frame, attach a gutter. A plastic rain gutter section, a cut plastic bottle, a bent piece of sheet metal, a hollowed-out piece of wood sealed with whatever you have. The point is to catch the droplets that roll down the mesh and funnel them somewhere useful. Angle the whole structure at about 15 to 30 degrees, tilted toward the wind. Not perpendicular to the ground, not flat, angled, like it's leaning into the night, ready to fight. Now place it. This is where most people get it wrong, and this is the detail that separates the people who get water from the people who get a damp mesh and a bad mood. Put it where the morning sun hits it last. You want maximum collection time before the heat evaporates everything. The east side of a building, behind a hill, in a valley where cold air pools at night, these are your spots. Elevation helps too. Even a foot off the ground puts you in slightly cooler, slightly more humid air. The difference between a foot of elevation and ground level can be the difference between ½ liter and 2 liters per night. Face it into the prevailing wind. If you don't know which direction the wind comes from, wet your finger and hold it up like you're testing the air for radiation, which, depending on your situation, you might also be doing. The cold side is the wind side. Face the mesh that way. That's it. That's the whole build. No electricity, no moving parts, no subscription fee, no customer service hotline. Just mesh, frame, gutter, angle, wind. Let's continue with the science. Brutal and beautiful. Here's why it works. Because understanding this means you can fix it, optimize it, and teach it to the next desperate person you find. Air is never truly dry, even desert air, even cloudless sky air. There's always invisible water vapor floating in it, and how much it can hold depends entirely on temperature. Warm air holds more, cold air holds less. You've seen this before without naming it. Dew on grass, fogged windows, your breath turning visible on a cold morning. Every night, temperature drops, always. The ground radiates heat into space, surfaces cool, and the air touching them cools too. And when it hits the dew point, the exact temperature where air can't hold its water anymore, that vapor has to go somewhere. Physics doesn't negotiate. It goes onto your mesh. The fibers give it a surface, microscopic droplets form, then merge, then grow heavy enough for gravity to win. They roll downward, guided into your gutter. Tighter weave means more surface area, which means more places for droplets to form. More tension means droplets move faster, shedding cleanly instead of clinging and evaporating back into nothing. This is why slack nets fail and tight ones work. You're not making water, you're catching water that was already there, falling too slowly and too invisibly for anyone to notice. The atmosphere isn't empty, it's a moving, breathing reservoir. A 6x6 collector under average conditions gives you half a liter to 2 liters per night. That's normal. In coastal zones, foggy valleys, humid regions, 5, 6, 10 liters, sometimes more. Build more panels, scale up. The Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, has villages running entirely on fog collectors, not as backup, as primary water supply. Because those engineers understood one thing the modern world forgot. The atmosphere is a reservoir. You just need the right net. Before you drink it, atmospheric water is cleaner than you'd expect. Never touched the ground, never ran through pipes, never sat in a tank with a broken maintenance schedule. But it did float through air containing dust, pollen, particulates, and possibly the chemical ghost of whatever ended everything. Clean doesn't mean sterile, so filter it. Flip a plastic bottle upside down, cut the bottom off, and layer it. Cotton at the bottom, activated charcoal, aquarium store, old water filter, or fire pit ash, then fine sand, then cotton again at the top. Pour the water through slowly. What comes out is clearer, better tasting, and cleaner than most city tap water, which, granted, isn't saying much anymore. Then boil it. 1 minute, rolling boil, kills everything biological. Bacteria, parasites, viruses, all of it. Gone. No fire? 1 drop of plain bleach per liter, 30 minutes, and you have water equivalent to treated municipal supply. Possibly better. Nobody's been fluoridating the sky. Yet. You wake up in the morning. The world is still broken. The cities are still silent. The stores are still empty. But your gutter is full. Not metaphorically, literally full. A liter, maybe 2, of clean water that fell out of the sky onto a piece of mesh you built for $10 from hardware store scraps and the ruins of a greenhouse. You didn't drill a well, you didn't find a river, you didn't fight anyone for a bottle of water. You just understood one thing that most people forgot. The air is wet, the night is cold, and physics doesn't care about supply chains. The Incas built stone fog catchers in the Andes. The people of Chungungo, Chile, ran an entire village on mesh panels for years. Engineers in Morocco are scaling this to industrial size right now, pulling thousands of liters per day from coastal fog. And you built one for $10. Scale it up, add more panels, optimize the angle, move it to a better spot. In a week, you have a water system. In a month, you have enough to share. In a year, if enough people know this, you have communities that don't depend on infrastructure that can be cut, poisoned, or simply forgotten. The water was always there. You just needed the right net. No pipes, no bills, no permission, just mesh, wind, and the one engineering trick that survived everything else. If this worked, you're alive. If it didn't, check your mesh tension, check your angle, check your dew point, and try again tomorrow night. The atmosphere isn't going anywhere. Neither are you.